Okay, so we were discussing the complications of the fracture. So we have divided the all complications in three heads: immediate, early, and late. Immediate complications means which occurs just after the incident of the fracture. Early means within 24 hours to 48 hours, the complication which are appear, and late which appears late in the process of the healing. So we already discussed this in furthermore classification of this complication as systemic as well as the local. So the systemic complication, immediate systemic complication is this hypovolemic shock that is due to the injury and the bleeding. And the local complications we include these major vessels, the injury of the major vessels due to that trauma or due to that fracture, fragments of causing the injuries, muscles, tendon. So there is a 5P, very important 5Ps to diagnose this local damages of the vessels. That is, first is the pain. Second, paresthesia. Third, pain, paresthesia, pallor, paralysis, and one more is there: pain, paresthesia, paralysis, and pulse, absent pulse. These are the 5 symptoms which are present when the local injury is there, other than bone. If suppose if pain due to the injury of the severe bone and the muscles, then pain, pallor may be due to that the distal part. Usually these symptoms occur distal part of the fracture. Suppose a person have fracture in the forearm, so these 5 P's may be present in the hand. So the pallor may be there due to because if the blood vessel is major blood vessel is ruptured, so the blood is not going beyond this the fracture, so that part remain pallor, become pallor. The pulse, if any artery is ruptured, so or the compressed, so you will not able to feel pulse in the distal part. Pain, pulse absent. Paresthesia, if the nerves is damaged. Paralysis, if complete nerve or the any tendon or muscles is completely torn, so that part become paralyzed. And okay, these 5: pain, pulse absent, paresthesia, pallor, and paralysis. These 5 things are usually present in the distal part of the body where the fracture is present. Okay, then systemic. In the early complications, the systemic we already had discussed: the hypovolemic shock, ARDS, acute respiratory distress syndromes, fat embolism, deep vein thrombosis and pulmonary embolism, aseptic traumatic fever, septicemia, crush syndromes, and the local, the infection and compartment syndrome are very much common. We already had discussed the management of these things also. Then comes to the late complications. Late complications that we have divided into heads. First, imperfect union of the fracture, and second, other than union, because the complications may be present not only in the union part, some other complications also present which are not related to the union of the fracture only. So here the in the imperfect union, imperfect union, the first is the delayed union or non-union. This is very much common. Delayed union. Delayed union means usually there is a certain limit of time when the fracture should be united. If any fracture taking the more than usual time of that healing in that fracture, it means that fracture is called delayed union. Suppose if the fracture of the radius is taking usually 4 to 8 weeks or 4 to 6 weeks usually 4 to 8 weeks. It takes 4 to 8 weeks to join to heal. If any fracture, if the fracture in any person is taking more than 4 to 8 weeks in the healing, it means that fracture is called the delayed in condition of the delayed union. And non-union is the condition when the healing of the fracture is stand beyond after one time and it's not progressing. That means the fracture is not having any kind of the progress, so it at a certain limit of time, then it is called non-union. Usually for declaring any fracture, the delayed union or non-union, at least we should wait for the 6 months. Before 6 months, we cannot say that that fracture is delayed union or non-union. At least means we can say if any fracture is not healing within 6 months, it becomes called non-union. If a fracture is which is should unite before 6 months and is taking more than 6 months in a healing, and but it heals later, so that the progress is means the healing process there, but it's very slow, so that condition called the delayed union. Malunion is the condition when the healing is there, but the healing process is occurs inaccurately. Means the bones are fused, bones are joined, but they are not properly joined in the correct positions. In that condition is called the non-union. And the cross union is there is called when the two fragments are joined completely wrong conditions, then it is called the cross union. Means the two bones are fused which should not be fused, then it is called the cross union. So what are the management of the delayed union and non-union? The treatment for the delayed union non-union is the bone grafting. Bone grafting is done when the complete part of that particular bone is missing, so that that fracture may go into delayed union and non-union. So that conditions in that condition bone grafting may required. Some piece of the bone from the iliac crest is placed there and internal fixation is done there, so that it heals properly in later conditions. And sometimes if particular fragment which is not responding to the healing, so in that condition that fragment should be removed and replaced by the prosthetics or any bone graft, so that excision is sometimes also treatment. And some condition of the delayed union non-union where the major disability is not there and that is not going to, and that fracture is not going to affect the functioning of that body part, then it can be ignored and no treatment may be required. So just like the fracture of the scaphoid, if it is not healed properly, then it even in that condition just ignore it and no treatment is required. Then one more method is the called Elizaro's method. It is usually used in the case of the non-union and that non-union and delayed union conditions, when the two fragments are approximated, but there is no healing due to the loss of the segment in between. Sometimes the segmental fractures, the middle segment is lost at the time of injury or crushed. So in that conditions, the Elizaro technique is there. There is an external fixation equipment there. So by that we should fix the two fragments initially at the close, and later on when the bone is started growing in between that two fragments, we by this that instrument we just keep mean distancing in two fragments and the bone is growing in between. That called Elizaro method. You can see in this picture, you can see here that this particular bone is lost, and either we need to replace this bone, we excise bone due to that fracture is not that fragment is not healing properly, so that that is fracture is going to delayed in a non-union. In that condition, this this is equipment, external fixator equipment is there. So what we do here, we just fix these two fragments close by, and when the bone is start growing in between two fragments, by this external fixator, we just move these fragments to away from these segments, and later on just you can see here the new bone is formed. So that method is used especially in the fractured tibia, where external fixator is applied, and slowly it takes long time, but sometimes the bone usually complete form. That's that's why it's very helpful. So now what are the factors which are responsible for the delayed or delayed healing or the non-healing in the fracture? The factors are categorized in three parts: related to the patients, related to the fracture, and related to the treatment. So first, related to the patient conditions, means any old age patients, usually the healing is delayed in old age conditions. So if the patient is very old in the, so that fracture may have gone into the delayed union, or sometime in the non-union conditions. Either patient is in a young age, but patient have some systemic illness, just like malignancy or any severe systemic illness, when the body's response of the healing is very poor. So in that condition also, that fracture may be line into the delayed or non-union conditions. Then related to the fracture, when some fractions some particular conditions develop in the fracture, so that may cause the fracture to be in the delayed in or non-union condition, where just like the distraction at the fraction site, means there is a continuous distraction in the fracture, means fracture fragments, mean there is the strong muscles are attached to the fragments, and they are continuously pulling these fragments, so that due to these distractions the healing may not be proper, or means the healing process may be delayed, or sometimes healing is not at all. So next phenomenon, next thing is there, when the soft tissue interposition is there, means when any soft tissue is uh, is present in between two bone fragments. So these soft tissue interposition is also a cause of the delayed union or the non-union. Or bone loss at the fracture site, this is also a common, when particular segment of the bone is lost due to the at the time of injury, so that may also cause the delayed union or non-union. Infection is one more common things in the case of, especially in the case of the open fracture, or in the condition of the open reduction, if any installation is not maintained properly, or sometime even maintaining installation, there may be a cause of some sort of the infections. So that infections may cause the osteomyelitis, and that destroyed the complete bone, and that's why that fracture will go into the delayed condition, delayed union or the non-union. And damaged blood supply is also very much important, means when the fracture fragments are separated each other, then sometimes that the artery supplying the blood supplying the blood to the distal fragments, that may sometimes disconnected. And because whatever healing occurs in the fracture in our body, so the blood is the very important component. If that tissue is either any kind of tissue, muscular tissue, the soft tissue, or the bone tissue, even it also required the blood supply. So if the blood supply is hampered in any fragments, so that bone will, that fracture will not heal properly, and that must go into the delayed healing or the non-union condition. Then the pathological fractures or conditions are there, when any pathology is there, so that the fracture may be going to the delayed union or non-union condition. We already had discussed the pathological fracture conditions. Then cause related to the treatment, that is also very important. That inadequate reduction is also a cause of the delay or non-union means the reduction was not done properly, bone fragments are not reduced properly, and proper opposition is not there to fragments. So that's why if you the both fragments are not opposed properly, so there must be some time some kind of tissue in between these fragments, so that may disturb the healing process. Inadequate immobilization, that means the you whatever method you have used for the immobilization, either POP cast, either external fixation, internal fixation, or the closed method of the immobilization. So you must be aware that the every fracture requires a certain time for the immobilization. If you're in the uh, if you required to you must require to immobilize that particular fracture for that particular time also. If you are that the cast is not properly fitted, or the even in the internal fixation the infection is there, means if immobilization is not properly, so that fracture will must land into the delayed union or non-union condition. And distraction during the treatment, we already discussed. If any distraction is there, that the fragments are not properly opposed, and any other force is applied. Suppose sometimes the gravity is also plays its important role, and two fragments are separated by the only gravity also. So in that conditions, that the fracture will not heal properly, and it must lead into the delayed union or the non-union conditions. Then other complications are the avascular necrosis. That is the very common conditions usually occur in the hip joint. We can see avascular necrosis, nothing, just when the particular segment of the bone is not receiving a good blood supply, so that starts that tissue start necrosing, and nearby you can in the x-ray the sclerosing is there, or osteophytic changes are maybe present, starting appearing. So that condition is the called avascular necrosis, means the necrosis of that fracture fragment start due to not receiving proper blood supply. Usually uh, uh, in the fracture of the femur neck, you see when the femur head is separated from the femur bone, and because the blood supply is going through the trochanteric side, and it's not it is disconnected, so head of the femur is not getting proper blood supply, so that segment will start uh, necrosis, and it present as a sclerotic area in the x-ray. You can see the sclerotic area in the acetabulum area and the fractured head, and so that that fracture will land into the non-union conditions. And for the treatment of this, we must try to initially, if you suspect that this fracture may land into the avascular necrosis, then the weight bearing should be delayed. Patient should not, you must advise your patient to not wear the weight, so that this some collateral supply will start developing, and later on it may receive the blood supply, and the healing will be start. But if you in that healing time, if patient start weight bearing and the pressure is there, so that disturbs complete circulation, and revascularization may be not possible. If it is possible, then revascularize that arteries, that may so that we can save the patient to land into the avascular necrosis. And so in some time, usually if it is present late, means already avascular necrosis is happening, and the the fragment is dissolving and it is fused to that 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 osteophytic changes are present. So in that condition, we must remove that particular part and replace by the prosthesis or the bone graft. So that may help to the proper functioning of that part. So that avascular necrosis is also very important phenomena that we should always keep in mind that while treating any fracture, that both the fragments must receive good amount of the blood supply. Next complication, the shortening is also present. Shortening usually present due to the impaction of the bone fragments. Either any bone fragment is lost at the time of the injury. So that's why that shortening may be present after the healing. Usually in the upper limb, shortening of the is not very much concerned. But in the lower limb, if shortening is there, it must be concerned. But more than up to 2 centimeter or up to 2 inch of the shortening, sorry, up to 2 centimeter of the shortening usually ignored, and it can be covered with this adjustment in the shoes. But if the shortening is more than 2 centimeter, then it must be corrected surgically. So in the surgically, the bone grafting may be done. Either any prosthesis may be used to cover up that shortening. So that must be correct surgically. Joint stiffness is also a common concern that occurs lately after the immobilization, when the patient start again mobilizing that joint. So that stiffness may be occur. Usually this the joint stiffness occurs in that the joints where the fracture is occurs in the articular surfaces. So that's why if fracture occurs in the articular surfaces, that must be try to reduce properly, so that internal fixation or the open reduction is required if any joint is receiving any kind of the injury. So that if fracture in the joint is occur in the articular surface, one or both articular surfaces there, so in that conditions usually open reduction is required, so that the proper surfaces, both surfaces are a position of the proper two surfaces done properly, so that the stiffness is avoided. But if it is usually if close reduction is done, so that may land into the joint stiffness. And that's why if any joint injury is involved the fracture, so as early as possible we should start the mobilizing that joint, so that the joint stiffness will not occur. Sudic osteodystrophy is the another conditions that usually already had discussed that kind of that painful conditions where occurs after the trauma, and the skin become inflamed and shiny skin is there, and usually that is the conditions which present with the pain, hyperesthesia, tenderness, and swelling in that fracture sites, which become red and shiny. So usually the proper pathophysiology of this is not explained properly, but this occurs usually, that complications usually present. So just give some the drug, anti-inflammatory drug, and just look if any joint is involved, then that physiotherapy plays an important role, so that patient may feel relief with this. And then osteomyelitis, the condition usually present when the infection in the fracture site, so that may cause the infection of the bone as well as bone marrow. So that condition is also very difficult condition to treat. Osteomyelitis is developed. Ischemic contracture is the condition when a bone is fractured and a particular fragment is becoming ischemic condition, and due to the disturbance in the blood supply. This is the most common condition present in the fracture of the humerus especially in the children's, that ischemic contractures occur in the humerus lower end fracture, that causes the ischemic contracture. That's very common condition in the children's due to the blood coming from this artery. This brachial artery is compressed, so that this contracture is developed, and patient may not able to extend the hand properly. Then myositis ossificans is a particular condition when after the fracture there is the hematoma is developed, and later on that hematoma ossifies, so it a hard bone tissue is developed in that particular fracture. Sometimes joint is involved, so that this condition also causes the contracture, means patient may not able to move that joint properly, so that condition is called the myositis ossificans. Osteoarthritis is also a condition which usually follows after the fracture in some especially if some joint is involved in the fracture, just like in the femur neck fracture or the knee joint fracture. So osteoarthritis is the chronic inflammatory conditions present in that joint, usually after the receiving the trauma and proper healing is not done. So these are some late complications can occur in the fracture conditions. So we must keep all these things in mind while managing a fracture and try to reduce these complications. Okay, so these are now the dislocation. We will discuss the dislocation in the next lecture.